Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Footballbets4u podcast, episode number 39 of season 3. I'm joined this week by Paddy.
Hello.
And Connor.
How's it going, everyone?
Lads, we're going to be looking at the semi-finals of the Euros. We have our finalists, Italy and England. It's coming home, but we don't know which home it's going to. So we're going to talk about the two semi-finals, just give our opinions on them. We're going to talk a little bit about Italy and a little about England, and then obviously give our score predictions and what we think is going to happen in the final. So we have a couple of questions that we're going to look at as well. I definitely don't have any bets done yet for my final. Have you?
I've got one done based off something I read earlier, so I'll run through that later.
Right, okay, we'll go through that one later. So Connor has one of the bets, and we're gonna just like a few little things on transfers, lads. So nothing too mad. I'm 100% confident we're gonna be able to keep this one under an hour. So so I reckon we're
famous last words.
Yeah. Right, lads, we're gonna jump straight into the final. So. So dramatic. I love it.
Yeah.
Lads, we're going to cover the semi-finals in this one as well, obviously. Look, obviously, we all watched the semi-finals. We watched it, obviously, last night, England and Denmark. Lads, what did you make of England? Paddy, what did you watch the match? You were in the pub, actually, weren't you? For it?
Yeah, I watched it, yeah. Well, I got home for the actual match itself. It was never a penalty. Never a penalty.
No, very soft.
But England's probably were the better side overall, like especially in the second half. You just see the Danes were just tired, very, very tired. I thought the best part of the whole thing was Kasper Schmeichel's interview before the game, where the interviewer says, well, how are you going to stop them from bringing it home? And he says, coming home, have you ever won it? 66, yeah, I was dead.
Home.
Yeah. But then I was actually flicking through all the social media channels, and the British social media channels were actually getting offended and saying he works here and he lives here. He should have more respect for England and all. I was like, get a bleeding life. My God.
I've seen some of them coming out as well. And like, well, he's not referring to the actual Euros. He's referring to football in general is coming home. Like, I'm just like, yeah, but you're saying it's coming home because you're going to win it. Like, do you know what I mean? It was like, stop trying to fucking get yourselves out of it. Like, getting out of this. And, like, it's embarrassing. You mean you're going to win it. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, do you know what I mean? They're saying, no, it's coming home. I was like, oh, no, we just mean football, not the actual trophy. Like,
yeah. And where was it like?
Exactly. Where's
the Premier League. That's not football. That's foosball.
Yeah.
They found it in Westport somewhere, apparently.
Yeah.
fucking gas. But, lads.
Yeah, good game.
What did you think of like a couple of key players, like the likes of, like, obviously Southgate's getting a bit of criticism for team selections and stuff like that. What did you think of the likes of Saka? I have to admit, I have to give him credit. Show his balls to put Grealish on and take him back off. He took it into his own hands. I still have to give Southgate credit for that. Connor, what did you make of them type of players, like the likes of Saka in particular, and say maybe Luke Shaw has been pretty good for them. Maguire as well has been actually pretty fucking impressive for them. I think he's standing out for you.
The depth of the squad is so good that I think somebody is always going to have a problem no matter what 11 he picks. If he plays Mason Mount, someone will be upset that doesn't pick Grealish. If he plays Foden, someone will be upset he doesn't play Mount. Whatever way, I think there's always going to be somebody upset over it. I think people obviously had opinions and problems with the squad selection early on, but if he's progressed through to a final, you can't really can't really doubt him too much.
Did you see the Paddy Power video they put up today, where it's like,
I didn't watch it.
It's fucking brilliant. If you haven't seen it, go on to the Paddy Power. I think it's on their Facebook page and stuff like that, and watch it. It's like the England fan, and he's like, the first game, he's like, we look fucking shit, we look crap, and then it's like 0-0 against Scotland, and it's like, oh, what the fuck is Southgate doing? Like, he's fucking useless. Like, and then he's like, the next game they win. He's like, yeah, I mean, like, we scraped through. I think it was the 2-1 against Czech. It was like, we scraped through, we got there, and then it's like the 2-0 against Germany. It's like, it's coming home, lads. It's coming home, lads. It's fucking so funny. Like, it's
how much do you think England's playing a day later will affect them?
Well, because they went to extra time, but I don't think it's going to take that much out of him, right? So you can either look at it that he could easily rotate that squad and keep everything
They do
fresh,
have a good enough squad, yeah.
Or you could look at it in terms of they really ran Denmark all over the pitch in that extra time, so they didn't really take much extra out of themselves. I don't think, like, they weren't chasing around the ball for fucking 30 minutes like Denmark were. I think they controlled it. And as soon as they score, they start walking with the ball. They start keeping possession, stringing fucking 10, 15.
It's good game management, wasn't it?
Very good. And it's awesome. something that England haven't done in a while is kind of control fucking games. Like, but Connor, like, what do you make of like the likes of Sacco and stuff like, or Saka, which the commentator, sorry, I said that because the commentator keeps calling him Sacco. That's very fucking annoying. I know I'm bad at pronouncing names, but like, that's a fucking 4-letter name. Like, it's not hard. Like,
that's something that Water would do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's 100% the Water show.
I think he was there for the out ball. They knew that the Danes were going to play 3 at the back with 2 wing backs. So I think his main thing there was he knew who'd stand. You get chalk on his boots out wide, and they could use him as an out. I think they were expecting probably more. Oh, Jesus,
sorry about that.
Going there. I think they were probably expecting more pressure from the Danes for longer. Obviously, they did provide enough. And when they got their goal, they started pressing even more. Denmark the tails up. But as Paddy said, they died off in the second half. They weren't able to compete maybe on the physical level. I don't know if it's because they don't have Premier League players around. Really they did look tired. They looked, as you said, ran ragged. When they got into extra time, they went down to 10 men because they had burned through all their substitutions. So especially just after Kane had scored as well. So they were never going to get the ball back and keep it really down to 10, that tired, that jagged, and looking for a goal. So
how can it be a penalty? The ball on the pitch and then
so the thing I was looking at with the penalty was, so right, obviously the ref has to make a split decision there, and like he either takes it into his own hands and gives it, or else he doesn't give it at all, right? So obviously want to do it. So if he gives that, because there is the slightest of fucking contact, there's zero chance of that being overturned by VAR. But I think if he didn't give it and they went to VAR, there's no way they would have gave it. Like, do you know what I mean? It wasn't enough to give it.
Has to be a clear and obvious error, but like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, so like it's completely kind of subjective there, really. Like,
what about the ball on the pitch?
I had actually checked it up today. The ball on the pitch, no players had interference from it. No one was running to it thinking it was something else. So it actually doesn't come in. Right. But on the penalty itself, I think from the referee's angle, it did look like a pen, especially when Sterling went between the two of them. So I would have just, if you're a VAR, extra time, European Championships, just say, go and have a look at yourself, make your own decision again. Exactly, You've had a split decision, you made a decision, go and see if you want to stand by it or not. And then it's back in the referee's hands. If Danny McLeary wants to come out afterwards and said, I saw it as a split decision, there wasn't enough to change my mind, well then, happy days. But the fact that VAR didn't refer him to have a look at it again, I think they have in their mind that they want VAR to be sharp and everything has to be done sharp. There's no delay in the European Championships. A decision's made and it's done quickly. There's no drawing lines for offside. I don't know if he had that in his head where it's like, no, fuck it, it's done.
Just give it. Like, didn't want to go back on his word. I do think they get away with it with the VAR. Like, when he gives that penalty, then the pressure's off him. It's like, right, no, look, it's gone to VAR now. That's out of my hand. And that's where I think you're right there, where VAR should have just stepped in and just said, look, Daniel, go and have a look at that. Go and have a look at that yourself. It's 50-50, very minimal contact. But again, he'd probably just say, well, look, rules are rules. It's just contact there, and it's fucking whatever the rule is. I'm sure if you looked up the actual terminology of that, I'm sure it would kind of justify him being able to give that penalty. So I don't know about this. But anyway, other things in the match, I have to, Connor, obviously you being a goalkeeper, you've got to give it up to fucking Schmeichel. I think it was something like 9 saves in the match, something like an international record or something for, I don't know, it was for Denmark or something like that. But
just what I loved about it was the obviously the two sides and how shaky Pickford made England look overall. They didn't want to defend at all in the game. I think that's probably why they kept the ball for so much and didn't go forward as much as probably they have in other games, because of how shaky he made them look, whether the ball was at his feet, under a high ball. A couple of good shot stops. That's what he's in the team to do. Compared to Denmark, looks so comfortable in defence for a lot of the game, even though they're defending for probably 80 minutes anyway. Yeah. They look confident with him in behind. A couple of big stops. Unfortunately, with the penalty, I think he dived too far for the penalty, so he couldn't push the ball away. He had to try to get it in.
He's trying to catch it at his knees nearly, isn't he? Like,
if he didn't dive that far, he could have just pushed it and kept it going. But because he's gone past it, he has to gather it in and took it to come off, and there's not much he can do there. But some of the stops from the point blank one from Sterling is outrageous. He made a couple in even after England had scored and they were pressing in extra time. He made a couple to his near post. Then later
there was one Maguire's header. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Oh, the great into the corner.
Great.
I thought it was actually going wide initially when I saw, but when you see the slow motion, you're like, oh, it's fucking mess.
Yeah, it's like that's a great save. Like, so lads, look, like, what do we think overall of England? Like, do you think they've had a good tournament, or do you think it's been a kind of it's hard to say they've had a bad tournament. Like, they didn't play the best very enough in the group stages, but they're really kind of solid, I'd say would be probably the best way to describe them. Like, they're not making many mistakes. That was the first game I've seen Pickford look really, really ropey and like he to me he just looked like he was causing so much fucking panic throughout the whole team. And I don't know what it was. Like, eventually he kind of settled down a bit, but like the mistakes were there. Like, every time the ball comes towards him, he absolutely fucking launches it, like puts his foot through it. It looks to me as if he just doesn't want the ball at his feet. And now look, goalkeepers are goalkeepers. They're there to fucking stop goals going in. But for him, he's fucking launching it every single time and just trying to get England turned. But Paddy, what do you think overall? Like, we have to look overall at England now at this stage because we are at the last game.
The Italians will be targeting the keeper. You can guarantee it because it's a 1 week spot.
So did you see what Denmark were actually doing on the set pieces where they were all piling in on the 6-yard box? I actually thought that was brilliant the way they done that because like that's if you can stop him coming out and gathering that, like there's a high chance that that's gonna fucking go in. Like could be off anybody. Like, but I like the way they kind of tactically done that against him. Like. Targeting them like
offensively, they're so good. Like you'd get international teams that are afraid to put the high press on. Like I'm talking to Italy, like to really exploit the keeper. If they put the high press on, then they just caught him behind. Like by the wealth of talent that England have going forward, like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What would your front 3-4 be for England? Because if you've seen a lot of people giving out about just like dropping Sancho there for the last game and stuff. I've seen in the media. A lot of people giving out, but they got the results. So what else can he do?
I know that's the thing. Like, and that's why, like, everybody questions Southgate, but like, how can you even question him now? That's 2 semi-finals in the last 2 tournaments that he's reached. Like, and now he's in the final. So, like, I think to try even guess the team that Southgate will play would be very hard because you don't know what formation he plays. Connor, who would you kind of start? Say we're going a 4-2-3-1. Who would your front 4 be? Obviously Kane up top.
I wouldn't be surprised if he went the same again. And he played Saka and he played Mount and Sterling. I don't think he can drop Sterling because I think Sterling's obviously been one of the standout players for them. Yeah. I know Kane's starting to fire now, but Kane wasn't firing early on, and Sterling dragged him through pretty much early doors. So it's a toss-up between the other 2 positions. And does he bring Sancho back in for the final? Or does he stick with the man who got him there in the semi-final? I think he does. He has a soft spot for Saka. Now I'm saying it as well. Got a fucking foot in my head. But I can see that being rotated early. I can see him making changes after 55, 60 minutes. Yeah. Regardless of the score at that stage, I can see him rotating out to keep fresh legs against Bonucci, Chiellini, lads who are, let's say, past their physical prime, we'll say.
Yeah, they're kind of pace, like a lack of pace. That is one thing that, well, look, I cannot
lack of pace, have a lack of legs.
Yeah.
I can't say but can they do it for 90 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. Paddy, who would you have as your like? So, like, forget what you've got and you've seen. Who would you have as your kind of starting for if you were playing or if you were a manager? Forget about previous kind of performances in this Euro.
Jesse Lingard.
Yeah, Jay Lings. No, obviously Harry Kane up front. You can't deny Harry Kane up front. In behind him, then probably Grealish. On the right, Sancho, and on the left, it's a toss up between Sterling and Rashford.
Okay, and you're telling me Sancho's coming in before Phil Foden
on the right?
Yeah.
For the numbers he's been scoring in Germany, yeah.
Paddy only picks players who'll either signed for United or are linked with United.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
His numbers are better. The
thoughts of Rashford.
His numbers are better.
I cannot.
He's one of the best goal assists in Europe over the last 3 years, and he's only 21 in Europe. In Europe, all of Europe.
Is he 21? Is he
21? Yeah.
Right. Hold on a second. Right. Like I'm gonna call myself out. Right. So. Did you see? I don't know if you've seen the video I put out last week of saying that fucking Sancho is one of the most overrated players that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I thought he was 19, and now I'm saying to myself, he's even more overrated that he's 21. So,
did you read the article?
I am calling myself.
Did you read it?
No, I didn't know.
No, well, read that and then come back to me.
No, I just
because the numbers don't lie.
They do. Timo Werner was fucking quality.
The numbers do lie.
Timo Werner. He's all I have to say. That's all I need to say. It's just 2 words. Timo Werner. I just think he's gonna fail at United, and I'm gonna love it.
You could be eating them words. I think you will be.
Have the clip, maybe.
Well, look, 4 years down the line, like hopefully YouTube's gone by then. Actually, sorry for anyone that's watching. This little code here, Fantasy Football League. For anyone that's listening and not watching, it's G5WCKJ. Get yourselves into the fantasy one.
Can't believe you drew that on the wall, Colleen. That's mad.
I know, yeah. It's gone around with a marker. That's a permanent marker on my wall there. So yeah, for anybody that's listening to it, like make sure that you just get into that league. I haven't decided off the prize yet, so I put a poll up on the Instagram page. It's nearly 50-50. Could be like an Xbox or PS5 or something like that. Or else it might just be a cash prize. So whatever I think, I'll do probably another poll just to get the feelers out on what people want. But I'm only going to do it if we get enough people, enough to satisfy my needs. So I do want to see, I do want everybody to join it. And if you have friends and family, whatever, anybody to join it, it is free to join. You can win, obviously, free bets and stuff like that. I'll do like a monthly, probably €20 free bet or something like that each month. So make sure that you do join that. Again, if you are asking somebody to join it, make sure they follow the Instagram page, because that's where we're going to be doing most of the updates and stuff like that, and be announcing winners and stuff like that. So, yeah, make sure that. So,
you've been very quiet on Instagram the last week or so.
Yeah, so I have been barred from posting stuff on Instagram. I was actually trying to put out a post yesterday to do a free, to win a €20 free bet for the Italy and England game, and I wanted to give someone a €20 free bet for the final, but I had the post done out. I'd done it fucking brilliantly. I had everything done. I had the big massive post done out. I pressed post, and then it came up saying I was banned from posting stuff on from Instagram. So
John Terry is like, get rid of this fucking freak, will you?
The ban gets lifted on Monday, so you'll see me posting stuff again on Monday. Now I can still post on the story. I can't like or comment on any posts or anything like that, so I'm kind of limited to what I can do. So yeah, so for anyone, look, again, if you're listening or watching, there's a code up on the screen, or else G5WCKJ. That's the code, so make sure you join that. Right, lads, sorry, back to this match. So we've talked a little bit about England, lads. Italy for me have definitely been the team of the tournament. I did slate them a little bit on the podcast probably a week or two ago, where they were after playing Austria. I wasn't really impressed with them when they played against Austria, but they've turned it around again, and they've shown their class. Paddy, what do you think of Italy? Like, do you think they're going to really put it up to England, or do you think it's going to be like? Do you think it's going to sway one way?
As people say, in my waters, I feel it that Italy are going to win it. I think.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Because they just came out of nowhere for me.
Stop feeling the water, will you?
Feeling the water, will you?
Feeling the water.
You're feeling your water. Paddy feels the water. Pass it on.
Yeah, I just think, yeah, I've like that run that they're on now has just come out of nowhere. Like I was just thinking Italy were a gone spent side. You know, looking at the Italian division, I just thought they were going nowhere. And geez, they're world beaters, like absolute world beaters. What's the run now? They've been
I think is it 29 or 39 games or something. It's one or the other.
And they played well against Spain. They did.
Yeah, they did. I do have to admit, I thought they were unlucky to actually go into extra time, but Spain did. See, this is the thing.
Spain ran the game in midfield.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's
three lads were electric.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So I would think England would have preferred to play against Italy than Spain. Spain would have absolutely dominated possession against England. I don't think Italy are going to dominate possession against England. I think it's going to be a lot more scrappy in midfield. I don't think Jorginho is the type of player that's going to really control the pace of a game. He does it well enough, but I don't think he's going to be if you look at Spain, they had Busquets and all there, and playing between the three lads, it's just they're really solid. Where Jorginho is just going to kind of he's gonna keep it short and sharp. He's not really going to slow pace down and control pace. But I have to admit, lads, what about the pen to win the semis? Absolutely outrageous.
Simon before the ball's even in the net applauding.
Oh, ridiculous, isn't it? It's so fucking funny. But I was watching that penalty, and he puts it in, and the keeper stands up and goes and claps him as if to say you fucking done me there. I was like, if my fucking keeper stood up and started clapping the fella that just scored a fucking penalty against me, I'd be fucking murdering the gun. But that was class from Jorginho. There is a couple of standout players for Italy we've talked about before. Locatelli has been fucking quality. Who would you like? We have to Donnarumma has been unbelievable. Apparently he's out of contract now at AC Milan.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was out of contract. I thought they were trying to sort out a new deal, but apparently they can't come to an agreement. And
no, they can't meet his price demand for. Imagine that you'd be at 20 years of age and you're like, fucking pay me more, and they're like, no.
That's mental. That is.
PSG probably on the card.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, where does he go? He goes to PSG, doesn't he?
But Keylor Navas has gone. Has moved on.
Where's he gone?
I don't know. He was another one who was out of contract with PSG, and they only have Sirigu back from after being out on loan in Italy, so they're not going to rely on him. If they're bringing in Ramos to try win Champions Leagues, they're not going to rely on him. So
Donnarumma seems like the logical option, doesn't it? So lads, I want to know here: Italy versus England. Who is winning this one? Connor, gun to your head. Talk to me about how you think this match is going to go, and who you think is going to win it.
I agree with Paddy in the sense that I can feel Italy winning the game. Yeah, I'm feeling war as well. We're both feeling at the same time.
Poor Waters getting a golf lesson, getting felt up doing a golf lesson, and we're all talking about feeling them up.
It's all in the hips. The big fear with Italy is I don't think they can fight back from a goal down. They're a team that needs to score and score early, and then bring out the theatrics, the dirty tackles, the falling on the ground, the time waste, and the game management is what they do really well. I don't think they have enough individual quality to come back from a goal down against England or from 2-1 down against England. So if Italy are going to win, they're going to have to score first, I think. I can still see them doing that. I can still see them being a little less overwhelmed than England, purely because one went in as favourites and one really didn't. So going to the head, I'm going to follow, and this is kind of goes back to the bet I saw. There was a thing I saw earlier, and there's a fella on TikTok who has claimed that he's a time traveller. Right? And he put up before the England-Ukraine game, he put up 4-0.
No way.
But it finished 4-0. He also put up England to win or beat Denmark in extra time. And obviously they did. He's also put out one for the final, which is quite detailed. It's Italy to win 2-1.
So this is your bet now?
Yeah.
Okay, right, go on.
Italy to win 2-1. Right. Barella to score first for Italy.
Right.
Mason Mount then to equalise for England. And then for some reason he hasn't given the other goal scorer for Italy. So I don't know who scores it. But I'm going to go 2-1. Barella, first goal scorer, and Mason Mount anytime.
Is this fella's name Paddy Power?
Yeah.
Wait until you see it come in.
Yeah,
and I'm rolling around. I'm rolling around in me $3.5 grand. Then you won't be laughing.
What way did you do that bet? So did you like? How can you do that? Like on Paddy
I've
Power,
done a bet builder for Italy to win, 2-1 correct score. Barella first goal scorer, Mason Mount anytime. Put a fiver on it and it pays back $3 grand.
Jesus, it's not bad, is it? Paddy, what do you reckon? England. So you reckon kind of Italy are going to be winning it as well?
I just I can't see Italy losing that run. What a fantastic run they've been on of winning games. And I'd like to finish it off now by winning the Euros. It'd be special. I said before the tournament started, England are a little bit young to win it. Now I could be eating these words next week. They've done amazing, and they could very well win it. But how will they react to being in a final of a major competition with the spotlight, the pressure from the media? Like everybody's already like it's coming home. It's pretty much won already in
Collie,
the UK.
Collie, what I'm picturing right now is this clip from Paddy and slowly build in the background football's coming home. Until Paddy actually says it's coming home.
Yeah.
After England win.
Yeah, Italy's gonna win. You ruined my train of thought.
Sorry, but
I was thinking about touching water again.
So you reckon an Italy win, and what score are you saying? Do you reckon it's going to extra time, or do you think that this will be a kind of a 90-minute job?
If it can be a 90-minute job, you see, that's the thing. If it goes into extra time, I think England will probably do it. But I'm going to go with Italy in the 90 minutes, and I'm going to go for 1-0. I'm going to think the crafty Italians, they'll shut England out and they'll get a goal.
Yeah. It's complete game management. Like I love. Like I'm sorry. I know it's fucking. Oh, it's not in the game. The spirit of the game. That's fucking bollocks. I fucking love a bit of diving. I love the theatrics.
Whatever way.
You've just been moaning about Sterling diving.
Oh,
when the Italians do it.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful when the Italians do it. I've never seen like so many Italians speaking so Italian like this.
Yeah,
it's so Italian like, but it's fucking brilliant. I think I have to give them credit because there is a culture of Italy doing that. I just think carrying on the culture. I love to see it. I love the diving. I do have to admit, England have kind of got a bit of shit over like cheating their way to the final. I don't think that's right. I think this whole thing about shining the fucking laser in Schmeichel's eyes, they need to give that a rest. That was ridiculous. He saved the fucking panel.
That's why he saved it. He was like, trying to get out of the way of the
laser.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to say, like they're trying to fucking. There's a petition going around apparently to have a rematch.
There's always petitions. We still have one to replay France.
Yeah, for unreal.
Yeah, yeah.
I won't lie, I did sign that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know about this one, lads. I actually think we're gonna get penalties in this one. I think
horrible way to go, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely if and my ideal scenario, we get penalties and we have Jorginho to score the last one, like that little fucking
chip it down the middle. He'll chip it down the middle.
Imagine like that would be
full Pirlo.
If it goes to penalties, Pickford will be the hero. Wait and you see. After all the stick he gets.
Don't say that.
I honestly don't think I could manage like listening to fucking that shit. Like Pickford being like. Pickford was like, I don't know if he got it or not, but that record fucking having like the longest. I think that was the first time England have had 7 clean sheets in a row or something.
The longest what? What's he have the longest what?
It's something like the longest. Penis. No, the longest clean sheet record for England or something like that since the 1966. I can't remember your man's name that won they won the World Cup with. Wasn't Shield,
Banks doesn't go.
Banks, yeah. So I just hate the fact that his name is even there near that. I don't want him to be the hero. I do see it going to penalties. I see it being 1-1 in 90 minutes. I see it being a complete fucking game of chess then into the second half, no goal, or in the extra time, no goals, and then I see Italy winning it. And I see Raheem Sterling missing the penalty. So I just want to spoiler alert. I'm a time traveler, Connor. So
that's not what you said on TikTok earlier.
I know this is going to happen. So
I'm not putting me gaff on this.
Do you think England's good defensive record is solely down to the solid back four, the solid defensive work of the back four, and nothing to do with Pickford?
Well, look, Pickford has made 1 or 2 good saves, but like every keeper does that. But you have to rely on your back four, and I do think that Stones and Maguire have actually had a really, really good tournament. And you know what? I used to slate Maguire, and it kind of opened my eyes when. Do you remember he was out injured for United, and they really struggled without him. And then I was thinking to myself, Jesus, he must have a much bigger pull than I think, because everyone looks lost without him. It's like he's controlling everybody around him without actually looking like he's doing it.
Vidic came out this week and he was talking about him, and he said he's not, say, as fast or as skillful on the ball, say, as Ferdinand was, or he's not as good at tackling or as strong on the ball as Vidic was, but he's a good all-rounder. He's a good 8 out of 10 at everything.
Yeah.
Without being a world beater or anything.
But what I was thinking, and I was actually only talking to one of the lads in work about this, so he came in from Leicester, wasn't it? And he's come in there with big kind of expectations. He's come in, big massive head. He's come in basically to one of the biggest clubs in the world, and he now has to try and press. So he's changing his style of play. So United are going to dominate a lot more games than Leicester are. So they're going to get the ball out from the back. They're going to play out from the back a lot more. The ball's going to be at his feet, probably 10 times more than it was at Leicester. Like they did try play out the back from Leicester, but they're not going to do it as much as United, because United will be controlling the majority of the games. So that's where he's going to get caught out, because he's not used to that type of thing. Like he doesn't pick out like lovely little fucking 50-yard fucking diag balls. Like he doesn't do that. He wants to just get the ball. And at the time he was at Leicester, give it to N'Golo Kante, let him do it. Give it to fucking Danny Drinkwater at the time, let him do it. Like, he doesn't really, like, he has fucking Fred sitting in front of him. I would imagine that he would rather try run past 4 people than give it to fucking Fred and let him do something with it. But
Fred's having a good Copa America.
Yeah, into the final with Argentina. That's actually going to be a good match. Brazil, sorry. That's going to be a good match. Lads, I think that's enough for the final. We've all gone Italy. Paddy, you've gone with 90 minutes. Connor, you've gone in extra. Oh, you've gone extra.
No, 90 minutes.
90 minutes as well. Sorry, and I've gone with.
Well, no, Connor didn't. His psychic did.
Oh yeah, his time traveler friend did. Yeah. Do you want to shout out? Do you want to shout out his at?
Oh, I don't know now, just in case. I will have it wins. I think the fucker's done about 18 videos, all with different outcomes. He just deletes all the ones that don't come true.
Yeah, it's like 20 different accounts. Like, but I look, lads, I have a weird feeling it is gonna fucking come on. Although we've just said fucking.
Yeah.
You can't play both sides of it.
I just have a feeling that they're gonna win. Like, and I hate it, but look, I'm sticking with Italy, and because I did say after like the first game week they were the most impressive.
When does the Premier League start?
17th of August, is it?
Something like that.
17th.
Something like that, yeah.
So they have a good long break now after this.
Yeah, I think it's 3 weeks maybe.
They have to have 2 weeks before they go back. UEFA said all players have to have a minimum of 2 weeks. But then you have pre-season tours and stuff starting up then as well. They don't know where some teams are going to go. So
yeah, exactly. Right, lads, we're going to move on. So that was the final. So we've given our predictions. We talked about the semi-final. So we're going to move on to the next thing, lads, and that is a couple of questions.
We should definitely all have wizards hats for when that
stuff. Why is it rain at the end?
I don't know. It's just a graphic. I just threw it in there. Fuck it. Why not?
I think it adds a bit of an atmo.
Yeah, I like it. Lads, we've got 2 questions. One left field and one that I think is interesting and that I want to kind of just talk about. So, first question is from Benko _____1. Out of any football player, which one would you want to save you from a burning building and why? Right, lads, I think we were talking, I showed you this question before, and I did say that I'm going to refrain from picking John Terry because we all know that would actually be my answer. But I'm going to think long and hard about this one, and I've decided Frank Lampard. Now, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to come to yours first, Connor. Who would you have and why?
So the way I'm thinking about this is as almost like in a game, and they're behind.
Right.
So and you need someone like a unit, obviously, to like drag you out and a bit of pace. I'm actually going to go Sergio Ramos. Purely for losing Champions League finals, scores a header, drags the game back around. Big bloke, strong bloke. A good one to look at as well. He's not a bad looking bloke, so he's carrying it down the stairs. You can look up in the eyes.
You'd be hanging over his shoulder, so you get.
Over his shoulder.
He's got a good bum. He's got a good bum.
Yeah, big legs. He can definitely carry it if you're up, say, in an apartment block and you're on the 5th or 6th floor. He'll definitely be able to get you down the 6 floors. So what
about Carlos Puyol? Doesn't take any shit. Will probably walk straight through the fire. I don't think any fire is going to affect
already him. Looks like he has burns.
Exactly.
So it's not going to really matter.
So Puyol
he just doesn't look like a hero, though, does he?
The problem is his hair may be a fire hazard. At least Ramos kind of ties his up. So you're going with Sergio Ramos to get you over born and build.
Yeah.
Interesting. Paddy, who would you have?
I'm kind of torn between two. During the press conferences for Portugal, Ronaldo was very clear to state that he only drinks bottled water. So you could be sure he'd have some water on him to save you. So to put that out.
And then maybe water did I earn you?
Yeah. And then you hear me second one, can he drink water? Because there's water in his name.
Jesus. I love it.
Clear on Conley next.
Lads, I don't know who I would have. I'm thinking more like I was saying there with Puyol. He wouldn't take any shit from the fire, he just fucking burst in. I'm thinking someone like Joey Barton, where he'd start just like punching the fire and just fucking starting to fight with it and trying to put it out like that. Probably just.
But you also have to ask, would Joey Barton bother his hole to go in and rescue someone? I don't think he would.
He'd probably pick me up, hit me a loaf, and then say, "Oh no, he's dead anyway." So
leave me there.
Yeah. So maybe Joey Barton's not the best one to have. I'm gonna go with. Do you know what I'm gonna go with? I don't know if he'd be able to carry me.
Who's giving you a tingle in your pants right now?
I was gonna say Peter Crouch, but because he's up a little bit higher, he'd keep me away.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has the legs. I don't know if
he wouldn't use the stairs. If you're on the second floor, you could just reach in the window and take it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm trying to think. Am I in a hotel? What am I in? So I need to know the dimensions of the building. If it's a bungalow, I'm not too. I just want someone fast. So I'm talking Messi. I like Messi in there. Pick me up, leg it out.
You still have to be able to carry you though. You're a big bloke, probably. You haven't played football in a while.
Jeez, leave it out. That big.
I have the guy for a bungalow. I'm going Shaqiri.
Yeah, that's a shout.
You can be fucking sure that he's got the fucking quads to hold me, and he's got the pace, and he's got the fucking big arse. So I'm going Shaqiri if it's a bungalow. If we're talking 2-story building, we'll talk Peter Crouch because again, can reach in the window and just pull me straight out. If we're going 3-story, I'm going Jan Koller. I'm going Jan Koller because Jan Koller could probably just reach top. If it's 4 stories, I'm going Paddy. Big Paddy.
Hold on.
What?
We're talking about being saved here. None of us have picked the keeper.
Ah, well, look.
Yeah.
Dog.
Jackie Bonner.
Sorry. Oh, safe hands.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. He drops everything.
Trust him. Remember, what was it Donegal Butterfingers or something?
Scalacci. No, fuck that. I'll fall down the stairs.
Right, I'm gonna go on to now. Right, so lads, that's anyone got anything to add to that one? No. Okay.
Sergio saved me.
Right. We're moving on to the next question, lads. Again, this is one that I think is good. What do you guys think of the World Cup 2022? How can they fit it into the season? Okay, so obviously World Cup 2022 is in Qatar. It's being held in November to December. So a couple of issues, lads, that we're going to get from this is, one, the average temperature of November is 29.5 degrees. how are people going to fucking be able to run?
They're probably building air-conditioned stadiums.
They're all air-conditioned.
This is another one. So they have an air system, which so me being a refrigeration and
put it in layman's terms for me, Collie.
Expert, right? So they have built an open roof stadium, and they've got air conditioning to cool it down, right? So this is how air conditioning works, lads. If it's open, it's not going to cool it down.
Yeah.
It can blow cold air around all at once, but unless you have it every fucking section, it's not going to kill the.
But they probably will have it in every section. That's the thing.
But it's not going to kill the players.
I probably have it coming up through the ground like a foosball. Not the foosball. You know them slidey tables where you go. All those shorts going.
It wouldn't be possible.
They're paying 10,000 locals to sit around the side of the pitch and just blow air.
So that leads me on to my next thing, right? Migrants that have been brought across to actually do works on these stadiums. It's thought that hundreds, if not thousands, have actually died in the construction of these stadiums. So, looking up the reasons on why they're dying, they've described it as inhumane working conditions. So, I would presume it's obviously not the correct equipment.
All being buried under the turf with straws.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Trying to air it out. So that's another thing, lads. Again, corruption looks like it has won on this kind of bid for the World Cup, because to me it's absolutely fucking insane. What do you think is the best, Connor? Just come to you. What do you think is the best way they can fit it into a domestic season without kind of being too disruptive? Are they gonna have to adjust the domestic league? Seems like they're going to have to.
It on a European scale, it's only going to really affect the Prem because everyone else has a 3-week shutdown at Christmas anyway. So usually
it's not from November. I don't think it's
no. So what they're doing for like the Bundesliga and stuff is they're going to add 2 weeks on the front and extend their 3-week breaks to 5-week breaks, and that's going to cover them off pretty much. It's the Prem that doesn't stop at all.
Yeah,
and Christmas is the busiest time for games where you're playing 5 games in usually 10 days.
Yeah,
I don't know how it's going to fit in. It was obviously done off of the back of corruption, and that's why Septic Blatter is in jail at the moment. Probably going to rot there for the rest of his life. But that's 100% what it was. And then they obviously realised that when you give something to Qatar, you can't play during the summer because it's 48 degrees.
Yeah.
So the Prem are really going to suffer. They're going to have to elongate the season at start and the end, which is just going to make Jurgen Klopp moan more about games.
Yeah. Fucking hell, like I thought he was bad, like Jesus Christ.
Wait until this comes around.
Oh fuck. I hope he's gone by then. I hope he gets sacked next season just so I don't have to listen to
that. But yeah, it's gonna be tricky for the Prem to manage it anyway, definitely. It's gonna be awful on the players. For obviously loads of reasons. It's never good to be playing a season and then go have to break for so long for international duty and then try to get back in. The standard of football afterwards is going to be dreadful for 2 or 3 weeks back in the Prem while people readjust.
Can I make a bold show? I don't think it's going to go ahead in Qatar.
No, I hope it doesn't.
It really does not make sense to let it go ahead in Qatar.
It's all about money. It's all why the fuck have it in there. Have it somewhere where they have it all the time during the summer and have a proper World Cup. This is all about money.
The only thing about it, Collie, is you've mentioned all these thousands of people who have died from it. They're not going to call it off now and say there's 21 stadiums you'll never use again and all these people are dead and we're not going to use it.
But there might
look at the other side. If countries pull out, other countries will go in, and you can bet you can fucking cock that if Ireland get in, they better not pull out. Because they better go all the way then.
Yeah,
it's
exactly,
just us, San Marino, and the Pharaohs.
I'll take it.
That's another kind of a serious kind of topic on it in terms of safety relations. So I was looking it up, and it did say a number of countries cut diplomatic ties with the country claiming they support terrorist groups. Is terrorism an actual concern here? Like, you're looking at their surrounding countries, the likes of Egypt and stuff like that, that have kind of cut off relations with this country. Like this isn't football related. This is like political. Like this isn't based on them having the World Cup. They've done this without obviously that. Do you think this is gonna be like a potential security threat? Like it has to be. Like I think they're gonna see this as a golden opportunity to possibly carry out something.
I think security will be fucking locked down. Locked down.
But
you know, they'll probably pay off the tourists, and everyone's probably being paid off.
But how can you stop? Like there's got like right, fair enough. It's gonna be locked down in the likes of the stadiums and stuff like that. But you're going to have these like gatherings at like parks or whatever you call it. You know, the crowd gatherings. Like you're going to have them, and that's where I think the biggest issue is going to be.
There was also the big one around South Africa at the time as well, the murder capital of the world, and how are they ever going to host a World Cup? And all they did was they just went in and they just apparently, I don't know how true it is, they just locked up everyone.
Yeah,
they started handing out 3-month jail sentences for people who had once robbed or once murdered and had been released since. They just started locking people up. And these countries obviously can just lock people up whenever they want. So from people who are there, I think it's going to be very tight. And I see from people who are going to be traveling into the country, like FIFA have a hand in everything that goes on. The other big one was when Brazil hosted it a couple of years ago. It's against the law in Brazil to serve alcohol in a stadium because of riots that break out. But you know when that rule got broke? When they hosted the World Cup and it was sponsored by Budweiser. So like FIFA can change laws in countries. So I wouldn't be. It's obviously going to be a concern the same way as any major gathering would be anyway. But I don't think it's going to be any heightened because of where it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just see it being an issue. Like another thing as well is obviously we've been told that there's an expansion with the World Cup, but they had a plan for 2026. 2026 World Cup is over in Mexico, Canada, and USA, but they've tried to bring that extension forward. Now I don't know how they've even tried to do that. I hope they do because we might get in it like we as like number 48 like. But yes, I think it's 48 or 46. Can't remember the exact number, but they're trying to bring that extension forward. What do you think of an extension for the World Cup in general? Not just for Qatar, but like in general, Paddy. Like, do you think there's already enough games for that? Like, you're talking about it not really going to change. So you're going to have like your whatever it is, your 32 teams or 36 teams, whatever the fuck it is. Then you're going to have your like round of 16, round of 8, quarterfinals, blah, blah, blah. But like you're going to have so many countries going and playing 3 games and then going home. Like there's going to be loads of them then. Just the number of that increases. Like, do you think like it's really feasible for something like that to happen? Like
fucking scrap international football. It's shy.
And we hope you've enjoyed our Euros edition of this
national special.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, just how do you like? Do you think it's gonna like? Do you think an expansion? Right, World Cup in general, I think it runs pretty smoothly. How do you see an expansion?
If it's not broken, why change it? It's the same now with the Champions League. They're shaking it up and doing this, doing that to change it. Like, and it's just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Like in terms of games and overloading the players, you look at what this COVID season done, and towards the end of the season, how teams were just starting to fall apart. Players were getting injured, then they have to run into the Euros. Like all these when this COVID shit is over, they need to then start planning. But no plans have been changed that were made 4 years ago before COVID came in, and they're still steaming ahead with all these, and it's just too much for the players, I think.
Yeah, they are getting work to the fucking bone, in fairness. Yeah. Right, lads. Look, that's pretty much it on that. We're going to move on. There's just one final thing to finish us off, and it's going to be just a couple of little things about some possible transfers. So.
The music for that is so like something you'd see like 12:30, 1 o'clock on UTV. Hi, call the Dateline. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say it sounds like the music from that one you see in the cinema. You wouldn't steal a handbag. Don't steal movies.
For fuck's sake. Right, lads. Look, I put a thing out on Instagram. I just put a little questionnaire thing up and just said your team. Tell me who you support and one player that you would love to sign for your team. So just a couple, I think I've got about 4 or 5 here, just responses, and then I'll come to you. So first we have is Giano, Newcastle. He wants a new owner and a new manager. Lads, what are the odds on Mike Ashley selling fucking Newcastle and Steve Heads getting sacked? Or not getting sacked, but just leaving in general.
0.
Slim.
Yeah.
If they had got relegated, I would have said, yeah, there's a big chance, but not now. No.
Yeah.
If 2 years ago there was a load of Saudis trying to buy Newcastle for 125 million and fucking shirtless Ashley was still saying no one's going to come in now to try buy them for any more. So not a hope.
No chance. Right, we'll move on to the next one. Sorry, Jono. Alfie Gannon, 06. Tottenham and Connor Skriniar.
Yeah.
So Inter Milan centre back, decent centre back. I don't think is that enough for. Is that the priority for Tottenham at the moment? Obviously, it looks like they're going to probably lose Harry Kane. There has been talk of him staying at the club, but I really don't see it happening. I see
strong offensively though. Tottenham are they are strong offensively. I think defensively is what they needed to strengthen up. Like even if they lose Kane, they still have a lot of offensively like really good players.
Yeah, really and stuff like that.
And Bale will be going back to Madrid as well. I know that, but I think Dele Alli could still be a good player.
He might have something to prove. Like he might want to stay there for another year or two and try to rebuild his reputation there.
They still have Son there as well. You know, who will Nuno bring in? You know,
don't bring him in because he's not Portuguese. So
yeah.
Connor, what do you reckon with that show?
Do Inter Milan start chipping everyone off that they just won the league with? I know obviously they're short on cash as well. I presume they're going to try keep the spine of that team there as much as possible. That obviously includes the likes of Lukaku and stuff as well, through the centre half, through the midfield. So it's going to be damage limitations for them. I can see them trying to hold on. He would work at Spurs. I don't know whether he's going to be on Nuno's radar or not, though, because he doesn't really know him. I don't think he has much knowledge of the Serie A, judging by all of his acquisitions when he was at Wolves.
Right, we'll move on to the next one, lads. And Richie Lee, Man United, and a CDM who can pass. Paddy, we'll go to you. Obviously, being a United fan, is this one you'd agree with? Is this your priority?
No, centre back is priority. It's absolute centre back is priority. Harry Maguire got out at the end of the last season and we just fell apart. Absolutely fell apart. So centre back without a shadow of a doubt. I think McTominay will get better.
Yeah.
I do think we still need a central defender midfielder, but again, it wouldn't be one of my priorities at present. Like I think we can survive without it, given the talent we have in midfield. Like you'd like to have Van de Beek. I know he's not a central defender midfielder, but he can start chipping in. Pogba I wouldn't put in that position because you can see it even for France, how unreliable he is at running back.
Yeah.
As good as he is offensively, but yeah, definitely I think the right side of the front three we definitely needed to strengthen. That was because we haven't had a right-sided winger in a decent one in a long time, and centre back. Yeah.
You still don't have him.
Yeah.
Connor, what do you think of that one for United? Do you think that would be a priority for them? You got to ship out Fred, surely.
Yeah, Paddy says McTominay had a good season. I know they can't always rely on having just one or two players who can fill into the slot they need to have cover, but I'd say replacing places where they actually could get someone in to the starting 11 up front. Obviously, if they can get someone like Kane, and I know they have Cavani for another season, but he's not going to be there forever. They can get someone in up there who can slot straight in. Someone at centre half who can be a long-term partner with Harry Kane, I think, or Harry Maguire. I think would be.
Imagine more Harry Kane and stick him on centre back.
I don't know. Maybe a goalkeeper if De Gea is going to move on. I don't know if you can fully rely on Dean Henderson. I'm not 100% on him.
There was talk of Donnarumma going there as well.
Yeah, so I'd have those positions ahead of a CDM for United at the moment.
Right. The last one, lads, and this is the one that I love. Chelsea and Haaland. Lads, Haaland, there is massive talk of Chelsea actually signing Haaland, and it is very fucking possible. We are favourites in looking at the odds and the bookies. So I think
are his favourites compared to him staying as well, or just to go somewhere?
No, favourites. I think we're like 6-4 or something like that. I can double check that now. But I think in terms of who Chelsea needs, I do think definitely a striker, because we can't really rely on Werner. Like, fair enough, he puts the work in, which all the fans appreciate. But if you're not scoring 20 plus goals a season, it's really not going to be good enough. Paddy, what would you think of Haaland going to Chelsea?
Well, it looks like Giroud is going as well, so it's all like all the ducks are being lined up for them to sign a striker. But Man City need a striker as well. They've put in a bid for Harry Kane, but I cannot see Tottenham letting Harry Kane go.
I don't think they'll want to, but I think like if Levy sees fucking 100+ million coming in for him, and he knows that he might not get that when his contract kind of runs down to maybe.
But his contract still has like 3.5 years or something left in his contract. 3 years, So he's like, and again, he's in his prime now. Those 3 years go up, he runs it out. Like, he's not worth half as much.
Yeah, exactly.
Haaland's overrated as well. He's shit.
Look at him there. He's shitting himself. He's shitting himself. He knows Chelsea are getting him.
I think disaster if you do get him, because you just have a really good squad as it is. If you get him, game over.
For years.
For everyone.
Connor, do you agree with that?
The way I see it, I see Harry Kane and Haaland being the ones who could move this summer. And at the moment, there's 3 clubs fighting out for 2 of them. So either all 3 of them are disappointed, but worst case, one of City, Liverpool, or City, United, and Chelsea are going to be left without a centre forward. So I know Pep is basically already
will pay for either of them.
Pep has already said that he'd be happy enough not to get a striker, and doesn't look like the finances are going to line up. Is that Pep covering over cracks so that they're already looking somewhere else? He's done it before. Where all of a sudden 50 million quid striker comes in. He's like, oh no, that doesn't count.
I love this interview, like where last year it was like, how he is so good, and he's like, well, we have a lot of money, can buy a lot of players. Like, it was brilliant. I was like,
well, even last year, no, the year before, and they said, oh, we're not going to make any more big signings, and then there was just the odd 55 million for Rodri came in. Like, well, where did this come from?
Doesn't count, does it? So what do you think, right? We're nearly on at the hour mark, so we'll try to get this wrapped up. So Haaland to Chelsea, do you think it's going to happen, or do you think...
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think he wants to go to Chelsea.
Lads, I'm going to move off that one, right? I wanted to just ask you one question, and it was just about a player, Lionel Messi. So apparently he is now an actual free agent. Where do we see Messi going? Talk of Ronaldo.
The Barca's director just said that they're close to agreeing terms.
Did they? Yeah, like a new contract.
Now, how they can afford it, I don't know, because they're fucking broke.
They're also running very close to breaking their wage bracket, apparently, with all the new signings with Depay and Aguero and stuff like that as well. So it'd be interesting to see who they offload.
Like, it would make sense for him to want.
They're also sweating to get rid of Coutinho as well, and nobody will buy him.
Yeah, there was talk of fucking.
We take him.
I don't want them.
We're looking for 80 million, so
no, not for 80 million.
He's not going for a packet of buttons, Paddy. Like,
how much did they buy him for? It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
121 or something in total. They still haven't paid 40 million of add-ons, but that's due this year, I think. So that's why they're trying to get rid of him so they can pay off Liverpool.
Jesus Christ.
Madness. Lads, we're going to wrap it up. We're on the 58 minute there, so we're going to call it a day at the hour. This is our second last episode of the season. We are going to end and break away for 2 or 3 weeks at the end of next week. So next week, I'm hoping I can get every single one of the lads on. So I'm hoping we get full house.
I'm not around.
All right, Grant. So I do hope we can get everyone on just to have a little bit of a chat about the fucking season and just wrap it up and say
me and Paddy will be touching water next week, so we won't be there.
Any water.
Busy touching water. Right, lads, we're gonna call it a day. Anyone that's watching or listening, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you follow the Instagram page. Make sure you follow us on Twitch and Spotify as well. So spread the word of our Lord, which is the Footballbets4u podcast. Right, lads, thanks for coming on, Paddy. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it was great to be back.
And Connor.
Yeah, cheers, lads.
Right, lads. We'll be back next week at the same time, 8:30 on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Spotify, everywhere. So we'll